attention for intervention. I bring prevention. Dr. Clark, here I come to make your head know. Health hop, lesson one to stop the bedlam. If you think you infected, seek attention. If you haven't, stay at home so you don't spread none. Use tissues when you sneeze, cause you can spread some. Cause coughed up germs is where it spreads from. I'm recommending washing hands for protection from your back real thorough while you count 20 seconds. And sanitizer, I advise you get it. Why? It makes germs die when you rub and let it dry. Don't touch your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your face. That's how you get infected, so you better play it safe. Long-term outcome, we'll see the end come. Never sick again from the H1N1. Hi, I'm Dr. John.
Holla. Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Cat Mullins and Scott Clark.
It's Wednesday, September 23rd, 8:06 p.m., Enemies of the State, Episode 4. You're just listening to the H1N1 rap by Dr. Clark, a government propaganda.
That's just hot, though. That's the best thing I've seen them do in a while.
The government put out a contest, win up to $2,500 if you create a swine flu video. Just another way for the government to whip up some hysteria about the coming pandemic, to make you fearful, to make you clamorous for government help.
Oh, it's totally funny how people it's such a big deal now, more than it was in the beginning. More people are getting it in universities, and even George Mason had a big thing about it. Had a town hall meeting with who's that ridiculous lady who's heading up the health department now? She was there.
Secretary of Health and Human Services?
Yeah, I guess so.
Kathleen Sebelius.
So. That's a good job. It's a huge deal now, and no one's even talking about it anymore. You still hear about swine flu, but, now that it's a big deal and more people have it than ever, you don't hear anything about it anymore. They've totally keep it hush-hush, because...
Hush-hush? No. I mean, I think they have the vaccine. They were excited about the vaccine that they had available.
Oh, it's not available yet, Scott.
But they're rationing it only for healthcare professionals, people who are super at-risk populations.
Lock, that's not me. Even though they say the younger population are getting it more susceptible to get it than the...
Because young people hang out with each other.
Sure.
Young people are actually doing shit.
Sure. Oh, you figure old people playing checkers and shuffleboard and stuff when they're handing off the pieces.
No, this old person right here, I just stay home. I go to my job, I sit in my office, I stay out of the public eye, stay out of the limelight. Where the state can't see me.
So what are we talking about today? Well, we can talk about H1N1.
Well, right, so we've been on vacation. It's been 3 weeks since our last episode.
Dude, I've been busy. I've been having fun. Having fun.
To hear updates of what we've been up to, and what has the state been up to, right? If we're not watching.
Oh, my goodness. I've been watching. That dude's ridiculous. What he... All right, we're not talking about him. Just fix something else, because I'm not talking about him. You're making me go off today and get all excited. I did want to mention today we are brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. It's good stuff. I do want to mention, and my lawyer suggested that I do mention that the thoughts and opinions by the show are in no way the thoughts and opinions of Miller Lite or the corresponding companies or trademarks.
The companies that we use to fuel our podcast abilities.
So what's the deal? We were talking about tobacco earlier over before dinner. You and I were talking about tobacco and the things that they put the FDA in charge of tobacco now.
That's right.
Which is ridiculous. Which basically put the government in charge of tobacco. Is that a good way to? Well, is that a good way to look at it?
No.
No.
The government has always had since prohibition of alcohol. They've had an alcohol, tobacco, and firearms department.
Right, which just stops me from growing my own tobacco.
So they've sort of, in that way, always been involved in the business of tobacco. Tobacco is one of the most heavily taxed, regulated.
Yeah.
So to say that this is something new is not exactly the right way to do it. But giving regulatory authority to the Food and Drug Administration is a new twist, and they have been doing lots of things lots of things to sort of regulate it or change it and really to stamp it out, right? It's a prohibition. But at a news conference on Tuesday, FDA agents were deliberately vague when asked whether the ban on flavored tobaccos would apply to flavored small cigars like Swisher Sweets or Black and Milds, which can have flavors like apple and chocolate.
There's going to be a riot among certain groups if they get rid of Black Milds.
Right, so FDA agents visited a tobacco store in Mobile, Alabama on Saturday and told the owner that flavoring ban includes cigarillos, like Black and Mild. And another cigar store owner told the president of the Cigar Association that agency representatives last week told her to remove every flavored tobacco product from her shelves that looked like a cigarette, but they didn't define what that meant. So in a letter to manufacturers, the agency said the ban applied to all cigarette-like tobacco products, even if they are labeled as cigars or some other product, right? And in other documents, so this is an amazing amount of creep from the initial legislation authorizing the FDA to regulate and ban essentially flavored tobaccos, everything that's not menthol flavored. And now FDA agents have decided, well, that means cigars too. That means cigarillos. That means later on an attorney for the FDA, when asked to clarify, said that anything that could be considered a cigarette, right? Anything that a customer would believe would be a cigarette. That means if a consumer believes a product is a cigarette, even if it's manufactured and marketed as a cigar,
okay,
that makes it a cigarette. So this means tobacconists have to be able to read their customers' minds. Are you thinking it's a cigar? Or are you thinking it's a cigarette? Because if it's a cigarette, I can't sell you this flavored shit. But if you think it's a cigar, then we're money. Like this is an insane amount of creep that occurs in bureaucracy.
If it's got white paper, it's a cigarette. If it's got brown paper, it's a cigar.
You're exactly.
That is the way it is.
It's genius.
That is the way it is.
You must be.
That's. I'm telling you, I've been smoking for years.
Yeah.
White paper, cigarette. Brown paper, cigar. Or something a little bit more delicious, actually.
So you're right. So Dr. Lawrence Staten, who's the director of the FDA's new Center for Tobacco Products, said if something is wrapped in a tobacco leaf, it can't be considered a cigarette.
No,
right?
You can't.
But that's when then he said, hold on, just so he got a signal from the department's attorneys, said, hold on, and then he had to revise his statement.
What did he revise it to?
If a customer thinks it's a cigarette, then you can't have a flavored tobacco. This is crazy town. This is just grown adults who like a flavored cigarette. Kids want to smoke Marlboro Reds. Kids want to smoke menthol cigarettes. They don't want to smoke a clove, vanilla, cherry, mild. And
that's true.
They wouldn't even think that would be an option for them.
But they will in a couple years.
They will in a couple years when it's legal for them.
Right.
Well, now illegal for everybody, but banned in the name of protecting the children, as all things are.
No, I didn't know about this. This is nationwide. Are you saying this is nationwide?
That's the federal government.
Are you telling me?
They actually control the borders of the country.
See, this actually makes sense because they're now putting the guys in the 7-Elevens in the turbans to good use because they're totally using their fortune telling skills to read my mind on what I'm coming in there to buy. What about flavored blunt papers? I'm sorry, flavored tobacco papers. What's up with those? Are still legal? Because they don't actually have tobacco in them, and you're rolling your own.
This is my point.
Smoke.
The legislation says one thing. The legislation has words printed on it, and they were approved by Congress. But what you have now is.
I thought Obama just put the FDA.
Obama didn't do this.
Oh, I think he did.
He didn't do it alone.
I blame him.
He didn't do it alone.
He had a hand in it.
He definitely
had a hand in it. I'm gonna be pissed if I have to learn that my the cigarettes that I like to smoke, are government issue 62917 lights. Well, they won't even use lights because you're not even supposed to use lights anymore. And if you look on the side of the cigarettes, they're always trying to keep up with the government, just trying to make them to do. Lights don't mean they're healthier or this and that.
This is a huge infringement on speech because the legislation says that now tobacco products are regulated by the FDA, but you're not allowed to tell people that the cigarettes are regulated by the FDA because people might get the impression that cigarettes are safer because
Why
the
did the
government
FDA
approves of
decide to take this on? You know, supplements aren't regulated by the FDA. How have they not decided to deal with that? There's stuff in these.
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, that's true. You're right. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. Right. Well, then some of my boys on my fantasy squads won't be suspended because they know what's in the supplements they're taking and what contains them, instead of just saying they're they don't
Yeah,
give,
my
they don't have to.
my
They're not
trainer told me to
required.
say
As
this.
soon as you put supplement on the side of something, you're not required to tell you what's in there and the nutritional value of
Thank
something.
goodness we live in a free country.
Fucking
That's
doesn't
good.
seem very free. Well, the cigarettes. This whole country was founded on cigarettes, and now they're telling me no. Now they're telling me, oh, well, maybe this one, maybe
Yeah.
that one.
Look, well, farming itself is an industry that's connected to the feeding tube of government largesse, right? The dairy farmers just came out with more things that, well, the milk, we're having a problem clearing out our inventory. Maybe we get a couple more. So the Senate passed a $350 million subsidy to the dairy farmers, but the House hasn't passed.
The farmers have been getting fucked for years. The only thing they've ever done wrong is what they did to the
cooperate
Midwest.
with the state.
Well, no, is what they did to the Dust Bowl. Other than that, they've been getting fucked for years and years and years. Back when...
What do you mean? Wait.
The farmers were getting fucked for years.
By who?
The government.
How so?
The government. Oh, I don't have my laptop in front of me pulling up all your literature and reading off the internet. But, I remember in my history classes, like many times, about how the farmers and the stuff that they were doing, they were dying. They were dying many, many years ago.
What do you mean, at the hand of the government? Or how's the government responsible for that? You said the government's been fucking the farmers. How? Taxing them? Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. You shouldn't tax them.
You're supplying my food!
Yeah.
Why are you taxing them? Tax me for buying it! Why are you taxing them for growing it?
No,
You tax them on the seed. You tax them on the buying the cows or the horses or
That's
this
right.
and that. You tax them on the tools that they use to do it. And then you're going to tax them when they go try to sell their crop? Are you crazy? How many times did you tax these poor people? Well, see, we're getting off topic. See,
But this is
we can't get it. We're not getting on the farmers.
But
we're not getting on the farmers.
But
We're talking about the
everybody,
farmers.
every business, Matt, is as vital to human happiness, right?
As food?
In its own
As
way.
food? No!
Are
No,
you kidding?
You're telling me MacBooks are as important as food. You're telling me Sony is as important as food. You're telling me Toshiba and all these other companies, Honda is as important as food?
Yeah.
Fuck Honda. No, I'll buy Chevy and eat. Eat food. We're getting off topic. We're getting off topic. We can't get off topic.
If there wasn't a car industry, how far do you think that food would get? The food wouldn't get very far now, would it? You'd have to fucking capture
Food has
squirrels in
been
the
getting
car.
far for years and years and thousands of years.
Yes,
People have been bringing food to market. There would be a market down on the corner of your street, and you would be able to walk down there and buy it.
Yeah, how'd the food get to that market?
Buy a horse and buggy.
Right. It spoils. It has to move quickly. Right. The amount of the complexity
if
and the
Giant
diversity
and
of
Safeway and Shoppers all went out of business, there would be farmers bringing food to where you could get it. They would.
Yes, but not farmers from Peru.
What the fuck do you need to eat from Peru?
Fruit
I'm
around.
sorry, Mr. Mango Man. And fucking,
No,
I don't even know if they
it's
make
not about-
mangoes in Peru.
It's not
but-
mangoes. It's the fact that the southern hemisphere has the alternate seasons, so you can get fruit year round. Like otherwise, fruit wouldn't be available in the winter.
Interesting. Yeah.
You're so yes. The
Yeah,
word
because Florida doesn't grow fruit year round. You can't get grapefruits in the fucking winter.
that's right.
You can.
The diet that you would be limited to, the diet you would actually be able to avail to
People wouldn't have greenhouses, Scott. You can't grow fruit in
Well, that's
greenhouses.
right.
You can't grow lettuce.
It takes an
and
amazing
onions.
It takes
and
an
carrots
amazing amount of
and
industry.
tomatoes. No, to have a greenhouse, it takes a lot of industry.
Yes.
To have See, we're
Electricity-
getting off topic. This is
electricity,
what we're
irrigation.
trying to correct the problems. I'm sorry, I'll tell you this. We're trying to correct the problem from the last couple of episodes where we're jumping all around. And I don't even know where we were to begin with, but we're not talking about farmers right now. We were talking about tobacco. And yes, you could still get tobacco because you could grow it in greenhouses. The tobacco should be able to be grown in your backyard, and you should be able to roll your own cigarettes. And anything else that you want to grow out there.
You raise an interesting point in that when the government gets involved in something,
it makes things more expensive, and it makes where you're coming from, and all these things. The government makes you think
Can I
you
finish?
need.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
You can finish. I'm sorry.
Can I finish?
You can finish.
When the government gets involved in something, the net effect of the government's interference is hard to tell, right? So we're sort of saying they're taxing the farmer up and down the sideways above, but they're also subsidizing the farmer up and down and sideways, right? They're providing tons and tons of supports, tons and tons of price supports, tons and tons of programs for a few crops, right? Just it's like 4 or 5 different. There are only 4 or 5 crops that are really heavily subsidized for farmers. But so the actual effect, if you actually tried to do the study to disentangle to see what was more where the
didn't they tell the farmers what they were going to pay for their corn, their ethanol that they made from their corn?
No, they
and then raised our prices. And, corn went up, so everything with corn syrup, which is everything in the entire world, went up.
That's right. The net's effect is very hard to disentangle, but all of it is a distortion. Everything you don't ever get anywhere close to where you would otherwise be. But we can go back to tobacco. Well, so and here you're sort of saying the FDA regulating tobacco for the children, and this really gives us a good idea.
See, you keep talking about the children when it comes to tobacco. Listen, I'm not a child.
That's right, man.
And if you want
that's a grown ass man,
if you want to charge the children, let them smoke at 15. Charge them out the ass, and lower my price. Kids are gonna smoke. The government tries to say, "Oh,
it's cool. It's cool to smoke."
It is way cool to smoke.
Good. You're right.
They try to, the kids are going to do what you want to do, and you need to hold parents more responsible.
No.
And
but here's this. You mentioned it earlier when we were on the phone, where Kathleen Sebelius was at Mason. You said, and she was trying to correct a dude who.
No, she wasn't at Mason when she did this. She was correcting a dude in a press conference who sneezed.
Oh.
And she was launching on him because she says Elmo knows how to sneeze because he didn't sneeze into. You're supposed to sneeze into the crook of your elbow, your arm.
I see Sesame Street.
And no, Elmo's in a public service now and teaching people how to sneeze, so you don't spread H1N1.
Right.
But she's a giant C, by the way.
But this attitude that the general public is children and needs to be coddled. Stephen Chu, Secretary of Energy, he's talking about greenhouse gas emissions and how these legislative changes to reduce greenhouse gases will affect the American public.
How did you just go into greenhouse gases from tobacco?
Wait, I'm
okay,
not
tie it together. Come on, I'll give you your time. I'm sorry for interrupting.
The amount of the thread I'm trying to weave together here is the fact that this blatant elitism and paternalism and the need that they think that their mission, right, in the government is to make you life better.
I've told you this before. We give them that power. They do think it is their job. And you know what? The way that we're currently set up, it is their fucking job to do that. Because that's what all these people think they need.
Guys,
that's what everyone thinks they need. Is Big Brother looking out for me. Oh, dear Lord. What would I do without the government when H1N1 comes along? I would feel, no, you'd be okay. You'd have the flu for a week, and then you'll be fine. You're not going to die. What percentage of people are dying from the pig flu?
Small.
The same number who die from the regular flu every year. It's the same. Just more people are going to get sick. Oh, no. Every year that a Star Wars picture comes out or something like that, to talk about how much money the country loses because of Star Wars coming out on Thursday, and everyone took off work on Friday. We lost $300 million. No, so people get sick. That's why you have sick time. I get so much sick time. It's great. You know how cool it is to be sick? You get to eat cool foods because soup is money. And you just lay in bed and drink fluids. Fluids are money. And you watch movies. Movies are money. You get to do all that. And you get paid. Being sick, as long as you're not going to die, is awesome. It is awesome. Work sucks.
Yeah.
I'd rather be sick than be at work. Sleeping is awesome. Sleeping is the best part. Sleeping, fluids, soup, and movies. Call it a week. And pay me.
Call it a sick day.
Pay me. No, I'm calling it a week and pay me.
So Stephen Chu says the American public, just like your teenage kids, aren't acting in a way that they should act. The American public has to really understand how important this is. Right? And then after the PR spokesperson sees this, he says, Dr. Chu wasn't saying that Americans are kids. He was just sort of saying that we need to educate teenagers about how to save energy.
So you know what my biggest problem? My biggest problem with all these people are. Is my biggest problem with nowadays.
Okay, this is the biggest problem.
The biggest problem. Yes, you ready for the biggest problem?
Yeah.
Is everyone ready for the biggest problem?
Are you listening to this?
It showed me on Twitter what NFL guys are doing this. The government does this. Don't retract what you said. You said the shit and you meant it, and you know you meant it. Don't take it back.
That's right. There you go.
You speak the truth and fucking stand behind it. Don't call Redskins fans suckers because they booed Zorn. Don't retract your statement. Yes, Americans are children and need to be treated like children. They need to grow up and get past the fact that they need the government residing over them and making all their decisions. People need to stop saying, oh, you know what, this was politically correct. I'm sorry, Taylor Swift, for stealing your mic. No, fuck you, bitch. Beyonce should have won. Don't apologize for this shit. If you're going to do something and it turned out to be wrong and everyone thinks it's wrong.
Wait, Matt, knock, knock.
Who's that?
Taylor Swift.
Fuck you, bitch.
No, say it.
Who's there?
Nice to Taylor Swift. You say
There's Taylor Swift.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to let you finish. That's a good joke, but I'm going to let you finish.
No, people need to quit apologizing. When you say something you know you meant to say, you know what you meant.
Yeah, there you go.
And just because people jumped on you, because you spoke in the heat of the moment, and you actually meant something, and people jumped on you and said you were wrong, don't come back and, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, it was taken out of context. No, you did mean to say it. You meant it now as much as you meant it then. You just don't want all the negative publicity.
Well, then
you don't want people jumping on it. You don't
mean?
want to get fired from your Secretary of Energy Defense or whatever the fuck that guy does.
What does it mean? What does it mean when Obama was sitting on George Stephanopoulos saying that the healthcare mandate forcing you to buy insurance isn't a tax? How's that for obfuscation, right? We're sort of talking about saying what you mean and meaning what you say, but Obama's sitting there saying that forcing people to pay fines if they don't buy something, or forcing people to buy something that they might not otherwise want, is not a tax. You don't see, this isn't registering with you?
Oh, I've never heard this before. Oh, you mean like my red light camera tickets? Like that kind of stuff?
No. Obama was on the round, making the rounds on the news shows.
Right.
Stephanopoulos was asking him about...
Isn't he a Demi too? Didn't he work for Clinton?
Yes, he was a Democrat, but he was super smart because he jumped ship because he saw that the Clinton ship was sinking, so he jumped out of that at the good timing. But anyway, he was talking to Obama, and he says, "But you pledged not to increase taxes, and isn't this a tax? Isn't this a tax that you're making here?" And Obama goes on a long train saying, "It's not a tax. Nobody thinks of it as a tax increase." And then Stephanopoulos pulls out the dictionary of what a tax is, and Obama says, "Well, it looks like you're really stretching the point if you have to go to the dictionary to find out what words mean." Like, no, dictionary's the first thing you go to.
Anybody who didn't know Obama was going to raise taxes is retarded. It's retarded. That's what Democrats do.
That's what politicians, Republicans raise taxes too.
Well, sometimes when they have to.
No, when they
pay for awesome military.
Not awesome military.
It is awesome military.
But they raise taxes.
That's the one coolest thing. I'd have Raptors. Oh, we wouldn't have a military if it was up to me. We'd just have thousands of Raptors just dropping hellfire down on fucking everybody.
The Raptors are they don't even work. They haven't even been flown in combat.
Yeah, they still work.
They've been cost millions and millions of dollars.
They still work. They're still awesome. Have you seen them? I've seen pictures of them. They are awesome.
There's nothing awesome.
Well, I would have thousands of Apaches with Hellfire missiles.
For what?
For what purpose? Blow shit up.
Oh, is there any other country on this planet who is actually having a debate and thinks they're serious about determining Well, how long should we occupy that other country? How many troops should we put in that country?
No, they're deciding
that is
how much money
disgusting.
should we put in shooting down other satellites here from Earth. China is on point because they can just. I was reading an article about them and how much money and they've been investing in it. They can shoot down satellites with lasers just at any given point.
Right.
And they're shooting down their own satellites and just blowing them up. Isn't that all you have to do to cripple the United States?
No.
If you took out all our satellites, we're not crippled.
Who's crippled? The state?
The state. The
No.
state's pummeled.
How is it pummeled?
Because what are they going to do without satellites?
They had power.
All right, well, we're getting off topic.
They had power.
I'm sorry. I'll totally talk about military warcraft for years. But
why the reverence for it? Why the worship for it? Why the idea that this is a
why
a
does
great
people
thing?
love Halo and Rainbow Six?
Those are
Why do people
diverting
love?
games. But the military is not a diverting game. It's about killing other people. It's about causing violence all over the world. It's not something to revere. Maybe it's necessary, but it's not something to
I
revere.
don't need to blow up other people. Blow up buildings and satellites and mountains.
Yes, this is millions of dollars to government contractors, to corrupt politicians, to taken from taxpayers, and all spent in the area
We've
of
been
blowing
doing
something
it
up.
since human beings were created. We've been having war and have violence against each other. Yeah, it's just cooler now. Because we have Hellfire missiles and Apaches and Raptors and satellite lasers.
It's not cooler if you're walking through. Like, it's not cool.
It's cool because I'm not going to get hit by a Hellfire missile. And I'm not doing anything wrong. Yes, if you're an insurgent, if you're a terrorist,
Matt,
if
my
you're-
podcast is called Enemy of the State. You don't think those unmanned aerial vehicles can fly around Iraq just as easy as they can fly around the United States of America? They could fly around here and just drop missiles if they wanted to.
We're just talking and exercising our First Amendment right there, Scott.
Well,
and
weren't
and I got to get you on the Second Amendment right. But
where,
we're just
where were the Iraqis? What were they exercising? They were going to a funeral when they were just.
oh well, the innocent civilians. That's that is sad, and it would be.
There should be no reverence for this. If you're somebody who couldn't find a job elsewhere, your prospects were dim, you decided to join the military.
You're going to be a terrorist?
No, you decided to join the military. You don't get any reverence from me. It's hard to go to work every day, like you said. It's hard to go to work every day. It's hard to make something.
Yes.
To produce.
You know what?
something.
It is in Mexico too.
It's not.
They found a pretty good solution, didn't they?
What do you mean?
Mexicans.
What's their solution?
You either join the drug cartel, or you run across the border into America, and you try working for a living. Because they seem to be doing okay, and they don't have that much in Mexico or other places. But you can go.
When's the last time you were in Mexico?
Places.
When's the last time you were in Mexico?
I've never been to Mexico.
It's pretty dope. There's a lot of people living pretty dope lives there.
Who?
Some people are poor.
Drug lords?
No. There's industry there.
Tamale guys?
The richest man in the world is a Mexican.
Matadors? Like who?
They have manufacturing plants. They have computer industries. They have telephone industries.
Yeah, and then walking home on your way from work,
They have steel
you get
industry.
kidnapped, and now your family has to pay $10,000 to get you back.
No.
In a box.
You get kidnapped if you are a government official or you are fighting a war on the cartels. You get kidnapped. But people can still go. Look, I'm not denying.
You're gonna whiff any of this stuff going on.
I can't smell any of it. I'm not denying that there's a lot of violence, and there is the clash between the military, the federales, and the drug cartels. But in most places, you'll live a life like it's a big teeming country with an economy that grows and shrinks, and people are living their lives, and it's a great place to retire. And there's no FDA telling you which drugs you can and can't get. You can just go to the pharmacy and get. You don't need a doctor to prescribe you medicine. You don't need permission. What?
What?
I'm not lying.
Keep going.
You can just go to this. If you want steroids, just go to the pharmacy and get steroids.
Oh, well, who wants steroids?
If you want any kind of antibiotic that our United States government will tell you can't get, you just go to the pharmacy and get it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want arachnid venom, anti-venom, you can just go to the pharmacy and get it.
I don't know why we don't have that anyways.
Because you got a lot of spiders in your house. Right. So don't this you, again. This I think that's a myth, right? That all these other countries are just terrible, and the United States is dope.
Listen, we are way doper than everybody else.
I think there's a lot of
You
dope
have to-
shit going down.
Yes.
But anywhere where there's creeping governmentalism is a problem for me.
You're not gonna walk in. You're not gonna be sleeping in your bed and have the drug cartel come in just because they want to. You don't have corrupt cops. Yes, we have corrupt cops here.
What?
Yes, I understand. I saw the cops on the internet playing the with the Wii. That was pretty awesome. Though. I would have totally done the same thing.
It's a huge amount of corruption.
Here,
Yeah, in police forces.
compared to there.
No, cops anywhere, governments anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Are massively
I mean,
corrupt.
that's the whole point of why we're speaking out against them, because they have too much power, and you give anybody
Yeah.
in any place too much power, and there's corruption is going to ensue.
But don't sort of say but if they're Mexican, they're
We're
worse.
better. We're better. We're way better.
We're wealthier. I'm not denying that we're wealthier, but they are getting wealthy at a good clip, right? They're getting wealthy at a pretty nice pace in a few generations. The world is, even in spite of all this, of what the government is doing, people left to their own devices actually do try to contribute to the world. They make their communities nicer. They make the world a nicer place. The world is getting safer, as a matter of fact. Deaths from violence is down. Property crimes are down. Even deaths from war are down, right? This is not...
Oh, I understand.
the chances of, 500 years ago of you dying at the hands of somebody else were much higher than the chances of you dying at someone else.
Because you got friendly fire, you got all kinds of stuff in, because our health care is
Our health
better.
meter. We gotta... we
It's-
find the health packs.
We do find the health packs. You use the lightning to clear out the way, and you don't want to come over here, Heather. I think war is awesome. I'm not going to lie. It intrigues me. It's interesting. It's one of the best things to read about. The
Wait, how is it?
weapons we have now, because it's just the weapons are cool.
Weapons,
The weapons are cool.
Weapons are cool, but I think you have to remember what the military is using them for. To impose its will. Not to protect itself. Right? You don't need a raptor to protect
true.
yourself. You need a raptor to impose your will on somebody else. You need it to rape somebody. Like, you fly in at Mach 4 and drop Hellfire missiles when you want to just make a statement.
That's fucking awesome. I'm totally.
But I don't think I think the better way to impose your will is to negotiate with somebody.
I'm with you.
But the war on drugs has certainly contributed to
Did we just
massive
move to
amounts,
the war on drugs?
to its a
Well,
massive
we were
going to
cover everything.
to a massive amount of police corruption, which
Of
we were talking
course.
about. And when cops get better weapons, what do they do with it? Fucking use them.
These tasers they got now are crucial. Oh my goodness!
What do you
I
got?
hope I never have to run into one of those.
What are you, a double amputee? You got no legs? You're in a wheelchair? I'm fucking get him! Tase him! They tased a guy in a
They
wheelchair.
shoot little dogs too and stuff.
Yeah, they love shooting dogs.
They do love shooting dogs.
So right, you give people weapons, and weapons are cool. And they're glamorous, right? But the opposite of glamour, or on the glamour spectrum, the other side on the glamour
Where
spectrum.
did you get this
is
chart
horror.
here? Because my girlfriend was sitting here telling me I need to come work for the federal government. This shit is, that's what I pay right now. That's what I get paid right now. And it's at the bottom of, oh my goodness. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to. It's ridiculous. Where did you get these charts from?
This is my.
Federal pay continues rapid
We
ascent.
talked about this in the last podcast.
Did
Or
we?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
I probably should have listened to that then. Alright.
Is there any news in the snitching blog world?
People snitching?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Oh, here's an interesting story. This is where your love of warfare and your love of snitches come together in one place.
Yeah, buddy, that's a good headline right there.
Afghan airstrike triggered by a single informant. The Washington Post reported yesterday, which would be September 6th in this case, that a NATO airstrike that killed numerous Afghan civilians was based on intelligence received from one single informant in violation of
It was the Germans. I read about this.
That's right.
The Germans who are not at war, who are there at a what do they use? They're there for peacekeeping missions or whatever, which is complete bullshit. Launched this massive airstrike they called into us to launch this massive airstrike to them, the commander of the German army. Right? Anytime I'm wrong, correct me, because I'm going off my total memory. And he totally launched this whole thing, which, at first they didn't want to say, it was all insurgents that we killed, but it was totally like a shitload of civilians that we killed at like a funeral procession. And now it totally raised debates in the German parliament about what was going on and whether they're over here and they should keep their people over, because I think they only have like 8,000 troops, and they're only technically
probably less than that.
Probably they're only technically there for peacekeeping missions, but they totally launched this. Like, they got us to do it, and that's the only way we're getting away from this, and not under the microscope, because they had us launch this airstrike that killed 200 people,
125 people,
125 people. Yeah, those bastards, they just need to get out. Weren't they against us at the beginning of the Iraq and everything? Them in France. They were totally against us going to war with Iraq.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them motherfuckers.
But they were right.
What do you mean they were right? About what?
To be against fighting
about us making us kill 125, only 25 insurgents to 100 innocent people? Yes. They were completely wrong.
About Iraq. They were right about not going into Iraq.
Saddam Hussein kept everyone else in check in the region.
What?
Huh?
Saddam Hussein kept everyone in check.
They kept everyone in check. He kept them in check.
Oh, the people in that country? Right.
In that country, and
right.
They kept Iran in check, and they kept everyone in check.
Uh-huh.
Are you mocking me right now?
No, look, if that's what your geopolitical estimate of the thing. But I don't think it's right to just go around starting wars. You know what I mean? Invading shit.
Oh, you mean like Saddam Hussein?
Yeah.
You mean like he did?
It's wrong to do that.
Right.
But that wasn't America's problem. It's not America's need to fix it.
When does it become America's need to fix it? When did it become Roosevelt's need to fix it?
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. There was no justification for World War II or World War I. Those were both...
For us to be involved.
Absolutely. No.
Even when we got bombed in Pearl Harbor.
Because of Roosevelt's maneuvering.
That was the only way. Roosevelt said he could not take us to war. And the only way we would go to war is if we were attacked. If America was attacked.
Yes.
And you know what? America was attacked in World War I too.
How was it attacked in World War I?
Isn't the USS Lusitania?
No.
Did I name the ship wrong?
The Lusitania, but it was a British vessel. It had American passengers on it.
It had American passengers.
But it was carrying weapons. It was a legitimate military target for the Germans. And Wilson Wilson told American travelers abroad.
Just FYI, if you talk any bullshit about Wilson, he's like my top 3 presidents.
Well, you're crazy for that.
Wilson's a man.
I mean, this really deserves...
He's got a hell of a bridge. He was a fucking cool dude.
No, he wasn't.
He was a cool dude.
He was a straight up racist.
Okay. Okay. Act like every white person in the country at the time was a straight up racist, Scott. Act like everyone was a straight up racist. Even people north, south. No one was racist in the country.
But we don't revere them for their racism.
No, I'm not revering him for his racism. Okay. I'm just saying you're putting him down for being a racist. Well, most people in the country were racist.
Like he's this great thing, but he's not a great person. He's just a regular person.
Just like saying, during World War II, I'm not trying to offend everybody. Everyone's like, oh, the Jews, we got to go save. Everyone in America hated the Jews.
Yeah.
They hated them. And they're trying to do the Holocaust. No, they hated the Jews. We didn't go to war for the Jews. That is not at all why. But I'm sorry, go ahead. But I just, you know, to say someone was a racist, yes. Lots of people were racist.
Sure.
Lots of people revered it or praised or whatever.
Sure.
Strom Thurmond was a racist. Yep, he had an affair with a black woman.
Well, and Lincoln was a racist, but we
Lincoln
love
was
Lincoln.
a racist.
Washington.
But don't
was...
start on Lincoln again. I'm not going to listen to
Why
talk
do you
about
have
Lincoln.
this cult of the presidency, this mentality that the presidents are awesome dudes, except for the black ones?
Some of the presidents. Oh no, Scott, that is wrong. That is so wrong. I don't think all the presidents are money. Okay. I think some presidents
Why
are money.
Why is Wilson money?
Wilson was kind of money.
He's from Virginia. That's money.
Yeah, that was white money. You know, I hold that very high. The League of Nations were money.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
They were kind of money. That was the first step in the world towards the UN. Not that the UN is money.
Right. So here's what
I think his basic ideas of what he wanted the world to come together and the things that they could accomplish together were good.
What he wanted was one world government. That is exactly bad. A League of Nations to run the rest of the world.
No,
that's hugely bad.
I don't think that's what he wanted.
That's what Wilson's conception of the League of Nations would be, and it was
that's
Roosevelt's
what you're saying.
It was Roosevelt's conception of the United Nations. Roosevelt considered resigning from the he wanted the United Nations in New York, near his home in New York. So because he considered resigning from the presidency of the United States to take over as Secretary.
You know why he wanted near his home? Because he couldn't go anywhere else.
So he
couldn't walk.
So he could run a one world government to sort of dictate to the world. Because they crave power. They love power. No, William Bullitt was an ambassador at the time, high up official in the State Department during World War I, and he said that Treaty of Versailles with the League of Nations was this. A case of a bunch of muggers moved into town, took all the loot, and then they set up a police force to help them protect the loot that they just stole. And that's exactly what the League of Nations was. We've destroyed the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire,
those things needed to be destroyed.
And the German Empire.
Those things needed to be destroyed.
And now we're going to say, and all those people who are upset about who...
Don't be shooting archbishops and fucking up shit. But go ahead.
And because now that we've all taken apart and dismantled it, and we've claimed our pieces, we're going to set up this government to make sure nobody ever gets their pieces back. What did the United States,
what did we get out of that? What did we get out of World War I? You name something. We took this loot. What did we take?
Oh, no. That's what's even worse. Right?
We got nothing.
That's my whole point, is why would we be involved in that? Because it wasn't our war. What did Wilson get out of it? Look, we became a creditor nation, certainly. So we did, but what did the nation get out of it? It got a draft, right?
We got rich.
We
got rich.
A permanent income tax. We didn't get rich. Who got rich?
Got rich.
No, we didn't get rich. International trade got shut down.
During. After.
No, after. People
needed to buy stuff from us. Yes. Yes, say it, yes. People needed to buy stuff from us. All of a sudden, we became a world power. All of a sudden, we are where we are as a world power now because of those 2 world wars.
No, I don't think
yes,
so.
I think so.
I think
we made money off that. We all made money off that. Your parents made money off. Your grandparents made money off that. I know my grandparents made money off that. I know this.
They didn't make money.
They did. They did.
How did they? What were they doing?
Because they bounced from Germany and came over here.
Yeah, but they would have
knew
money.
about diamonds. They made
money. That would have been better. They should have bounced out of here because Germany was starving to death.
Maybe the reason why they bounced. I don't know.
Because of the war.
I don't know. Because after the war was over, they needed goods and services, right? And who provided them?
Yeah, who was ever still alive.
Who provided them?
Whoever was still alive.
Tell me, Scott.
But Matt,
you won't let me win ever.
That's sort of like
we provided them. We provided them. We provided them. Like you said, we became a creditor nation.
Yeah.
We extended them credit and sold them goods and services and made money off them. And we probably built them back up so they could do it again. And then we crushed them again and made more money off of them. Yes. 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 We're still making money off Japan from World War II. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. We're still making money. We're still getting paid by Japanese government, by Japan. Yes, we are.
How are you getting paid?
The government is getting paid to keep military officials and keep the military going by getting paid
This is
70 cents on the dollar. What we pay our forces who are stationed in Japan, 70 cents on the dollar is paid by the Japanese government. Which is why their government just got toppled into over.
That's right.
This
isn't a creation of wealth, though. Nobody's getting rich because of this.
People are making money because of this.
No, it's a transfer from one to the other. That does no good.
From one government to the other.
No, and from one government. But where did the government get the money? It took it from other people. It took it from citizens.
Took it from Tokyo. We took it from Tokyo.
This is not...
Fuck Tokyo.
And this is not something to applaud, right? Stealing from some and giving to others. Right. So, behind every great...
It's been happening for thousands of years, Scott.
Yeah, Matt, and we're trying to get...
So we're on the end that's getting paid. It sucks to be on the other end. We're on the good end.
This time.
There's no another time for me. I'm turning 30 next year. It's half over. Yes, the next 30 years could suck balls if it flips. But I'm not...
I don't necessarily...
Yes, my kids might have a rough life.
No.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Because we're going back to Americans being selfish and people being selfish. It's working out for you right now, is it? Things are going pretty well for you. Things are going pretty good for Scott Clark. Things are going pretty good for Cat Mullins. Okay, if 100 years from now, things aren't going good for my grandkids, yeah, that sucks, and I don't wish that upon them. Oh, well.
But you're sort of saying that, well, look, it happened all the time. People have been killing each other forever, but...
People have been killing each other forever. People have been robbing and stealing. Governments have been robbing and stealing from their citizens.
Can we do better? If the answer is no, then you give up.
Because here's my one question. Yes. Short answer, yes, I think we can. If we could do better, wouldn't some in the world's time period, wouldn't people have done better? If you can do better, wouldn't you do better? Wouldn't we here in Virginia say, you know what? We're going to band together. We're going to move fucking Haiti. We're going to take it over. And all of a sudden...
Well, there you go, taking over things again, imposing your will on this stuff. I think ideas matter.
In Virginia, we'll deal with the government, but we're going to bond together, and with our collective wealth, we can do whatever the government needs Virginia to do, but be better. But people can't do better, otherwise they would have.
No, I think... here's the point. Here's my point. Ideas matter. And the idea that you have in your head that is transmitted around the world, like your favorite H1N1 virus, is the idea that the military should be revered for something, or the military should be revered for what it does. That somehow this combat, somehow this fighting, makes them excellent. That idea needs to be challenged, and if that idea is challenged, then people can sort of see
it goes right back to what you're talking about. If you could do it better, if you could do it better, wouldn't it be better? Yes. That's why we have drones. That's why we have Raptors. That's why we have Hellfire missiles. That's why we have napalm. That's why we have all these awesome things. Because if it can be done better, it will be done better. If we had a better form of government, that's what capitalism is. It is better than all the others.
Capitalism isn't a form of government.
It's a form of what we have. Not anymore. We have socialist government.
I don't understand what you're trying. You're moving.
Capitalism.
But look, you sort of mentioned the Germans, right? The German in Germany, and in France and in European countries, they don't necessarily have the same.
How's it working out for them? Are most of them going under and bankrupt? And
no. They don't have the same reverence for the military, and so they don't necessarily.
Yes, they're called Sweden and Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and so I think there's a. For instance, Switzerland, they don't even have a general if there's not a war going on. They only have the top-ranking military official as a colonel because they won't even appoint a general unless there's a war.
Where?
Like there's this idea that and they have citizen soldiers, right? They don't have a standing army. You're just if there's a war going on, just get a gun and start fighting. But this idea we build this military and spend fortunes.
Would you move to Switzerland right now?
Yeah.
Of course you would. Of course you would, because it's a money country.
Right, but not because of its military.
Not because of its military.
Right, the military has nothing to do with it.
Because they got knives and watches. They got fucking the Two really cool things cornered.
And peace and wealth and property
and
rights.
snow and wonderful chocolate and fucking
Yeah.
beautiful women. Yeah.
And peace and wealth and property
Okay.
rights.
You know what?
Which is what
Switzerland is better than America.
The wars.
That is the one place in the world that's better than America. I'm with you.
No. Yeah, I don't. This idea that you have this reverence for the military, that we can, that the money spent on those weapons that are so dope is stolen money. It's not. It's
Yes, of course it is.
Yeah, that's not. There's not.
And the companies building, the
we can't enjoy
government
that stuff.
pays the companies who build those things. They're crooks too, because this year it cost $22 million. Oh, guess what? It costs $30 million now. Like, yes,
right.
I know. If they should, the government should be able to. If the
this.
one thing government should be able to do is, if you told me this is going to cost me $22 million,
We had this. Did we have this conversation on tape before?
I think we did.
I think we did.
It should cost $22 million. Otherwise, I'm going to take this awesome plane you just made me, drop bombs on your ass. What company makes bombs, by the way? Does the Army make its own bombs?
No.
Are there companies that make bombs?
Lockheed makes bombs.
Lockheed makes bombs?
Yeah.
All the bombs? Just some bombs.
They make the bombs, they make the missiles, they make the missile guidance systems. I mean, the same thing. They all have the same manufacturers.
Yeah.
Imagine this, you're spending fortunes, hundreds of engineers' times to make something blow up. At the end of the day, there's nothing. They spent so much money to get something in the end that doesn't do any, like, that is gone. Right? When I spend money, I want to have
How
something.
awesome bunker busters are. You know how awesome...
It's an impressive feat of science. It's an impressive intellectual endeavor. But imagine
What do you want to spend the money on? Welfare? Healthcare?
No.
I got healthcare. I don't need welfare. Put my money on the fucking Raptor, baby. What are you doing with my money? If they're going to be taking my money, if they're going to steal it, build something fucking cool that's going to blow the fuck up.
Like a roller coaster. Like build a roller coaster.
No,
Build
I don't want a
something
roller
that you would
coaster.
enjoy.
No.
Something that you would enjoy.
No. You know what they need to do?
I don't-
I need to be getting a live feed on my computer of them blowing shit up. Of insurgents dying. I don't want to play Halo. I want to watch the real shit on TV. I want to have fucking Army Ranger
Do you think insurgents
Steve
are...
Smith. I want to have the camera
You're
on
the
his shoulder
gamer.
feeding
You're the gamer
into
it
my
up.
big screen TV and watch him go fuck some shit up.
That is disgusting.
Why is that disgusting? Scott, you know how much money we fucking waste? I will hit so
I
many
know,
potholes.
I wanna
wasting
stop
my money
the
on this
wasting
fucking...
the
I'm
money.
just sit in traffic anyways and hit potholes. Fucking don't spend it on my roads. People will need welfare. I have health care. You know, if people need health care, go get a job. Or go find some kind of health care somewhere. Do something. You know, we keep spending all this money on all this stuff I don't use. I
want you to
want
keep your money.
bombs. I want fire. I want Raptors.
I want
a Raptor Apache hybrid.
I want you to
I
keep
want
your
some
money.
crucial shit.
Why can't you keep your money, though? What would you buy if
Because they're going to take it anyways.
Well, no. What if they didn't? What would you be buying then?
Beer.
Porn.
More beer? Nah, I don't watch porn anymore. My girlfriend's awesome. Beer and liquor
Isn't that stuff better than bombs?
and weed.
Isn't that better
That's
than bombs?
No. No, because you know what's cool when you're drunk? Roman candles.
Those are fireworks.
Well,
Fireworks are
it's
good.
just because they won't give me grenades. If I could get a grenade and go blow some shit up, are you kidding me?
Well,
Have you shot a gun before, Scott?
Yeah.
How many times?
I've shot a gun 3 times.
What kind of gun?
A Glock, most of the time.
Okay, Glock.
I fired a revolver.
Yeah.
Never fired a rifle. Never fired a shotgun.
My friend has an AR-13. Or some shit like
An
that.
AR-15.
There you go. It's fucking ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Scott.
You can still in
No,
a private.
I need to blow up a fucking 100-year-old oak tree with a grenade.
That's great. Yes, you can blow up nature. You're talking about when Army Ranger Steve Smith breaks into somebody's house and kills people. That's disgusting to me. If you want to blow nature up, that's fine. I hate nature. Blow the shit out of nature, but you love nature. You think nature.
Yeah, I don't want to blow up the tree. You're right. Nature is awesome, and I don't want to blow up a tree. I'd rather blow up a human being. There's awful
That's
people in the
crazy.
world, and they need to die. They need to die.
I think there are people in the world who need to die, but I don't
Yes.
think we should
Koreans?
celebrate that. I don't think we need to celebrate the fact that there are people. That's a tragic necessity, and maybe a better sets of ideas would necessarily would help mitigate the number of people that are in need of death. You're sort of celebrating it, revering it. This warrior culture. Oh, look, the brave, bold warrior who's got every kind of
samurai?
armor and
No.
Yeah, you loved it. You said Army Ranger.
Yes, samurais are beasts.
With his
have you ever seen a samurai before?
Yeah, look, I love samurai. I have swords upstairs, wooden swords and stuff to train with, like a bokken. No, this isn't something we should be excited about. It's a horrible necessity.
Okay. Name a Mongolian.
Temujin the Kayak.
Who that?
That's Genghis Khan.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. What was he?
He was.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Name a great Egyptian. Besides Cleopatra.
She was.
I know. Name someone else.
Oh, you mean? What do you mean?
All the great people in history that you could remember. What are they? Most of them are great warriors or generals, or kill people.
Yeah, we need a better set of ideas. And when is that changing? It's changing now, right? Because we remember people like Henry Ford. We remember Rockefeller. We remember people who create something. I think it is.
They were just as cutthroat as those generals. They were just as cutthroat and put people out of work and put small businesses fucking down and starved just as many people as those fucking people that you're.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
How did Henry Ford starve anybody?
Jesus. Okay, well, not Henry Ford.
How did Rockefeller starve anybody? How did Thomas Edison starve anybody?
What happened to all the candle makers, Scott? What happened to all the people in the candles?
They started
when there was electricity. Oh, don't need that many candles anymore. Sorry, buddy, you're out of work.
You're not out of work. You're out of the candle making business, but now you're into something that is way more remunerative and creative and interesting and less backbreaking.
What about all the people who electrocute themselves? Huh?
Damn you, Thomas Edison!
What do you think about Thomas Edison?
Damn you!
Yes.
We should have kept this under wraps.
Yes.
Westinghouse was right.
Yes.
I don't know. Obviously, the world is changing, right? Before, and I think ideas matter, right? After industrial
How many
revolution.
deaths were George Washington and Abraham Lincoln responsible for?
Well, lots, plenty. Lincoln was responsible for plenty of deaths.
Yeah. Putting that butcher in charge of the North. That's why the North won the war. Put the fucking butcher in charge. And just watch him. He knew how to win the war. He knew exactly how to win the war. We have thousands and thousands of more people. March them straight ahead into that other army. They're dug in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Grant was a butcher.
This is a disgusting lack of regard for the value of human life. For individual human life.
And Lee should have been given a medal because he knew he was, the South was burning. People they were dying by the thousands and tens of thousands. He knew there was, with Grant in charge, it was over.
Well, Lee's problem was that and I think he always regretted it, was authorizing Pickett's charge at Gettysburg with a massive loss of life that the South took at Gettysburg, and they could never recover. In fact, he should. I would, if I could go back in time, I would have said, Lee, just stay the fuck out of Pennsylvania. Like, just fight your defensive war, fight a guerrilla war, wear them out. The North is gonna get tired of this.
Of course, yes.
But this idea that we should regard people who can kill other people as awesome people is not.
No,
I regard people.
I'm not talking about people. The things, the machines that we build, save American lives.
They don't.
The bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki did not save American lives. They didn't save maybe 50,000 American lives. Oh. You know what a fucking bloodbath it would be for us to invade the island of Japan?
We wouldn't have had to invade the island of Japan.
I'm sorry, how would we have not had to invade Japan?
Because conventional bombings would have done just as much to break the spirit of the Japanese.
Did you see those bombs?
Right. Did you see the amount of money they spent on those nuclear bombs?
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is when conventional bombs would have done the same thing, And when the Japanese weren't going anywhere, they're an island. You could blockade those bastards. They would have starved to death. It didn't save anything. Maybe it saved time, and it was spectacular, right? It was a spectacle, but nothing to be excited about. And I, in fact, don't think that Americans are worth any more than Japanese. I think they're probably roughly.
Then why does every time there's a news thing about a plane going down overseas, they say 200 dead, 37 Americans killed? Why do they
Because we have bad ideas. We have tribalism. You sort of think the United States is my tribe. You also sort of think Virginians are my tribe, right?
They are.
But they're not.
They are.
They just don't know.
They
you,
are.
man. That's a bad idea. That's a concept you have in your head to think that somebody in Roanoke, Virginia, who you've never met
It's
before,
my brethren.
is any more important than somebody in Mexico who you've never met before.
100% more.
Both of them are working just as hard to make your life better. Both of them.
No, because one's grandfather or great-grandfather or great-great-great-grandfather probably did something to make my life be where it is today.
But so did the Mexican.
What did the Mexican do?
They're working every day. They're
Ground corn into a tortilla? Yes, I do appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love Mexican food.
That's right. So exactly. They have just the same amount of influence. We've been talking for an hour.
We have been talking for
Ready
an
to
hour.
wrap it up?
I need some more rum. You didn't bring the rum dispenser down here.
I didn't, but
I'm out of beer.
But I think we've enemies of the state. I think we've uncovered some. I think we've covered some interesting ground in our rambling talk.
We did.
But
You know what? What I figured out is when we find a good topic, we can sit on it for a little while. We try to scramble for a topic at the beginning and try to stick on it. But we eventually find a good.
But I hope we're scratching the surface again to the ideas that underlie our interpretation of these surface events, and this idea that you do hold this.
This is why you're an anarchist and I'm a Republican. It's
Yeah.
I love the Raptors and stuff. I don't like the taxes.
But you don't like indiscriminate murder, right? Do you like indiscriminate murder?
No, I don't like. Of course, I don't like indiscriminate murder.
All right, well then we found some.
But when people fuck up, they need to pay the consequences. And unfortunately, that's a fucking
But a raptor,
big ass tank, a fucking
Yeah.
fucking drone.
a bullet,
Drones are money.
a bullet will kill the culprit for much cheaper.
Yeah, but you know
than
how
a
long
raptor.
I gotta sit out in the bush in my sniper fucking outfit and sit there and to pick out like a worthy person before they uncover.
Just kill them
or
all.
you send a
Kill them all like
Don't
God
kill 'em.
sort them out.
No, not that. But I mean, come on. Come on.
Like Bull Halsey, when Pearl Harbor was attacked and Bull Halsey sailed into the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, you know what he said?
No.
He said he looked around, he saw the battleship row all destroyed, he saw everything destroyed. His aircraft carrier group was out at sea and was late to the party. They would have been there and attacked at the same time, but he was already out at sea. But he goes in and he says, when this war is over, because he obviously knew this meant war, he said, when this war is over, the Japanese language will be spoken only in hell. Like he was sort of committing to murdering every Japanese person, as if the citizens of Japan had any interest in starting a war with America. No, only a very few military junta people in Japan had an interest in starting a war. Regular people don't want to
Scott,
fight.
You don't see this in our culture. You don't see Skins fans and Eagles fans and Giants fans and Cowboys fans all wanting to kill each other. It's football. But I hate them. I will beat them with this PVC pipe about the head for no other reason but for wearing a star on their chest.
That's insane.
Or green.
You know that's insane, right?
It's not insane. They need to die.
That's the craziest thing. And the funny thing is, the Dallas football player, right, and the Eagles player, they love each other. They're friends. They went to college together. They're super happy with each other.
Used to play with over our team.
Yeah, they train each other. They go out to lunch, to dinner with their wives and kids. They go on vacation together. They have way more in common with each other than they have with.
If I see them both out at dinner together, they're both gonna die.
You shouldn't be talking to him. You work for me.
Yes.
You're crazy.
I pay that motherfucker salary.
That's so stupid. But and you feel this attachment, this deep.
I can see why you don't watch sports now. It's starting to make sense. It's
local sports team does something that locals love. Like that's a great headline.
Why do you think there's always, whenever some guy misses the game-winning field goal or throws the game-losing interception, that he's getting dog shit on his fucking porch or vandalization on his lawn? Just happened last week to a Bills, the Bills guy. Dude, he understood. Crazy shit's gonna happen. I fucked up.
That's crazy.
Shouldn't have fucked up.
That's one thing.
They wouldn't trash my yard. It's as simple. Don't fuck up.
That's a
Iraq, don't fuck up.
That's
Korea, don't fuck up.
That's a little,
Japan, don't get fucking out of line. Otherwise, you're gonna get smacked back into place.
That's a little different than wanting to kill somebody because they root for Dallas.
Oh, well, I don't really want to kill him.
Because Lexi loves Dallas Cowboys.
I know. I'm gonna fucking kill him, too. That's fucking why he moved to Baltimore. He knew I was fucking looking for him.
Enemies of the State, Episode 4. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening. We will talk to you soon. Leave some messages on the website. Talk to you.